All right, we're going to work through the customer project or the customer information project from Zach's Visual Basic. And we are in Chapter 9. This is Exercise 4. So create a Windows Form app, blah, 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 create this interface. And, we have a file menu, and that should have an exit button, should have an exit option. And then the lblMessage here is set to false. Okay, so I'm going to take this and drag it out of the way again. Here's my form. I'm going to open up the toolbox and let's build this form. Again, I'm not going to go over how we're building the form. Actually, I am going to do one bit. We'll do the menu together because that's new. So let's take the form. Let's do the first thing we want to do to this form is change the font. Okay, and then under all Windows forms, we have a menu strip. So let's add that to the form. You just drag it in. It doesn't matter where you put it. The properties for this, if you ever need to select it, is right here. This is the menu strip. And we can just start typing in here, right? So I can do ampersand FILE for file. I built my file menu. And then let's do a couple of things here. I'm going to put a save in here. Right, and then I'm going to add a separator bar. So that's just putting a dash in. And then I'm going to put E_XIT. All right, so the save isn't part of the assignment, but I wanted to add it to show you how to have two ways to save this form. Okay, one's going to be clicking File Save, and the other one's going to be clicking the Save button on the form. But now we need to program the exit button. So this works just like a button. All right, double click on it. It brings you to the code that will handle when somebody clicks on the exit button or the exit item in the tool strip. All right, so that was putting the menu strip on our form. If I run this right now, okay, we have our form. I can go File, Exit, and it closes it. All right, so everything else in the form, I'm going to quietly build, and then we'll get back together and finish programming this application. All right, I think we're pretty good here. I'm not in love with this form design, but it's something. So lblMessage is hidden when the form, hang on, I am not lined up very well here. Let's take these things, fix the spacing. All right, now get this to line up. Hang on, sorry. Okay, that's lined up there. That's lined up there. Okay, I think that's good. So if you look at figure 935, it's kind of hard to see. I can't really make this bigger, but file and first, both have the access key on there. So I'm not a fan of that. It's like you're giving two different things access to listen to. If someone holds down Alt and hits F, do they pull down the menu or hit this label, which should drop you into this text field? So I put the access key on first on the R. And I do need to set my tab order. So yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, 12. Okay. Like that. So now when I run this, I did Alt F, it gives me this. And, I have S and S here. Those are going to be the same thing. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. So I can Alt F X and exit out of this thing. Or if I hit Alt and I hit L, I'm over here. Okay, so there's our form. Code the file menu's exit option. We already did that. Label message should disappear when a change is made to any of the boxes. So I'm going to select these boxes here. I did so just by holding down Shift or Control as you click on them. I'm going to go to the events, and on text changed, I want to call hide label. I'm going to say hide message. Okay, then it's a little more descriptive on what's going on. And then lblMessage dot visible equals false. Okay, so when any of these things change, we hide this LBL message. Code each text box's enter event procedure. So when you enter this box, everything should be selected here. All right. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. We can do a different sub procedure for each of these. Okay. Just by double click on. So I have the text box for first name here. Here's enter. I double click on this and I can say txt first name dot select all. Right. So when I put something in here and then I come over, move somewhere else. When I click on this, did that not work? Maybe when I tab into it. All right, when I tab into it, everything is selected. So we can do that, do it there, and then do another one for last name. You can go to last name, enter, and do another one. All right, but that is quite a bit. So if you notice, this event has a sender and event arguments. And the sender is the object on the form that created this or that triggered this event. And then the E is any arguments with it. So it's like, where was the cursor when they clicked, or what text is in there, whatever. All right, any other arguments that go with that. So instead of creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these things and have all this duplicate code, what if we did one for all of these? So same thing, I'm going to select all of these. And on enter, we're going to, let's say select all text. And the reason I called it select all text is because we already have a select all. All right. And what is the text box that we're working on? The one that we're working on right now, what is it? TXT zip or TXT last name or first name, or which one is it? It's whatever sender is. Okay, but sender is a generic object. So we're going to use direct cast on it, on sender, and we're going to cast this to a text box. And then we're going to run select all on that text box. So when we enter any of these boxes, it's going to select all the text in there. Let's see what happens when it's not like this. If I comment this out and run it, and I say tester, all right, and I hit Alt Tab to go back, my cursor's just at the end of this thing. If I hit Tab, it's just at the end. All right. But when we select all the text that's in there, and I run this, I can say tester. When I hit Alt Tab, it selects all that. So then I can put in the real information. Okay. So there's a little trick. So you don't have to do this 5 times. You can just do it once. All right, now the bulk of the project here. The save button should save the information to a sequential access file named customers.txt. Before saving the information, all right, so we're going to code the save button. So double click on that, and we're going to just throw some comments in here. So I'm just copying this from the assignment so we know what we're doing. So before saving the information, verify the text boxes contain data. So I'm going to move that up to the top here, and then display an error message if at least one box is empty. And then when we save the data, this is how we're doing it. I'm just putting basically the assignment in here so we know what we need to do. Okay. Before saving the information, be sure to verify all the text boxes contain data, display an error message if one box is empty. So I'm going to say if txt first name dot text is empty dot trim equal to string dot empty, or else txt last name dot text dot trim equals string empty. And let's just check these two. And what we're going to do is if either of these fields are empty, then I'm going to show a message box. So message box dot show, and I like to put blank lines in here. This is the error message. So the error message is going to be please fill in all fields. This is the title to the error message box. So I'm going to say input error. We can dictate which buttons appear. So message box buttons dot OK. That's the only thing they can do is click OK. And we could put an icon on here as well. Since this is an error, we'll show the error icon. And then if these things are empty, show the error message, and then we're going to exit sub. We're going to get out of our sub procedure and stop running this application. So let's check this out. If I just say save, it says please fill in all fields. If I put in Eric here and hit save, please fill in all fields. If my last name is a bunch of spaces, it trims that before checking it. That's also invalid. All right. So we just need to take this and we need to create this a couple more times. All right, so we have first name, last name, Control D to duplicate this. We're going to run this again for address. And it keeps throwing these thens randomly in here, and I don't want that. TXT address, TXT city, and TXT zip. I'm going to get rid of that or else there. That should be the then. All right, so that didn't work too well, but we got to that point. All right, so if any of these things are empty, show this. And the nice thing about this is if last name is empty, it stops because of it's an or else. It doesn't even check these other ones. So it's faster this way using or else's than just using a bunch of ors. Okay, so save the customer information to a file named customers.txt. So we're going to say dim out file as io.streamWriter. And then we'll append to this file in case it already exists. So I'm going to say out file equals io.file.append text, and we're writing this to customers.txt. Now, write the customer's first name and last name separated by a space on the same line. So it's as simple as outfile dot write line txt first name dot text dot trim and a space and txt last name dot text dot trim. Okay, so write line automatically puts the new line character in. At the end, we don't have to worry about that. The one thing I like to do is, look, after I open a file, I like to close it right away because I always forget to close it. All right, so outfile.close. All right, and then next line, the address. So very similar to this, I'm just going to duplicate this line and move it down. We're using txt address, followed by a comma, space, the city name, txt city, a comma, space, and txt zip. And that's also right line, so it automatically puts the new line character in there, and then a blank line in between. So outfile dot right line, nothing. All we're doing is just adding the space there. So let's see if this works, how this works. Fill that in, save. We don't know if anything worked because we didn't change the label and give it a make it visible, right? So let's handle that bit. But while I'm at it, let's go find out if this did work. And come to your Solution Explorer, find the project, right-click on it, and open folder in File Explorer. So that's going to open it in basically in Windows. Now remember, when we run this, this is an executable getting run in bin debug, and there's our customers.txt file. And I can open that in VS Code, and there it is. All right, the file is getting written. So I think that looks pretty good that it's being written there. Let's try running this one more time. And actually, before we do that, I'm going to make that label visible. So lblMessage.text is equal to, it's supposed to say information saved. And then lblMessage.visible is equal to true. Now when we run this, save this, it says information saved. And as soon as I change something again, so I'm going to change test tester to, I don't know, even if I just hit delete, the information is no longer saved. Best tester, information saved. And if I come back to VS Code, you can see that it's saving that information with a blank line in between. All right, so very good. Let's see here. We created the interface like it was asked for. We coded, we have another save button here, right? I didn't show you that one. So if I say if I say the best tester and I go file save, that didn't do anything. So let's code that button as well. And notice that this is the event handler for the click button, okay? So I'm going to take file save. I'm going to go to the properties of this. And on click, we are going to run btn save.click. So it's using the same event handling subprocedure as the save button. So we're going to try this one more time. And I'm going to say, I'm a tester. They're over at 456 Main Street. We're still in sunny Buffalo. So file save, information saved. And I closed my text file, but here it is. You can just double click, open it in Notepad. Oh, mine's opening in VS Code. And there's, I'm a tester. Okay. So that's how we have the file save button, file save, doing the same thing as clicking the save button. All right. And then file exit, that worked nicely. All right. So we programmed the exit button. The label disappears when a change is made. We did one of those. Code each text box's enter event. We did that. We saved the information and we verified the data. So there you go. That is your customer information application and a menu.